Hi, everybody. I'm Debbie Belaus with Feel Good Qigong, and welcome to the spring season that is upon us. So, what I love about this practice is that we follow nature's laws, because in following nature's laws, we're all on the same page with each other. They're not man-made laws; they're nature's laws, and in each season has a key component to the season to help us get through each season and thrive, and using that as your protocol for different kinds of movements, because there's certain movements you would want to do in the summer and would not want to do in the winter. There's a emotional component to that. There's an emotionality to each season also, which I will talk further about. There's also different breathing techniques that you use. There's different healing sounds that we use for each season. And I particularly love teaching this way because I spend about 10 to 12 weeks on each season and really hone in on all the messages that the season has to offer us. And when we live with nature's laws, it's just the most natural way that you can manage your health also. So each season we work on two different organs, a hollow and a solid organ. For this season of spring, it's liver and gallbladder. There's different meridian lines. There are energy electrical cords that go to each organ as well to help maintain that organ for that season. And again, you don't need to know all this. And again, that's why I like to work seasonally, because it's such a big subject. And when we break it down into these seasons, you get a really good feel for the information on each season, and then it will carry you to the next. And then before you know it, after a year of studying each season, you'll see the patterns. You'll see how one season helps with the next season, and the next season helps with the next season. And then you can use it to pick and choose of what your body needs. It doesn't necessarily have to be for that season, but it will also give you an indication of how to manage your health and how to manage your life. So for this spring season, I'll just go over some things that we will be working on. Like I said, we're going to be focusing on the function of the liver and the gallbladder, and the healing sound is shh. And we do the movements for this time of year also are more stretching. And again, to see how these patterns work, when we're in the winter months, it was all about hibernation. And the message of that was to go within, to rest a lot, to prepare for the next season of spring where it's more outward. The winter's more about hibernation. It's a great time to learn a meditation practice because it's just conducive for that kind of practice. It's harder to learn a meditation practice when you're really active and going and going and going in the summer. So it would make sense that the winter would be the season that would help you to learn about going within. And the physical protocol for the season also was a lot of keeping that body warm, keeping the heat, bringing the heat to the surface of the skin, to close off all our windows and doors to keep that pathogens from coming in from the cold weather. So a lot of the protocol for that was keeping the body warm and keeping the body rested. I always gave permission to always tell people, take naps in the winter, get a lot of sleep in the winter. You need to prepare yourself from that whole last year the activity of all the holidays. Then we come into the springtime where the activity and the energy is more out. And you don't want to come out really quickly, because then you can really hurt yourself, because we're probably stiff, we're probably tight from not doing so much activity. So the protocol for the spring is more stretching the ligaments, stretching the tendons, stretching the fascia, starting to get a little bit more of a muscle load on the body to prepare again for the summer, because the summer is more active. You want to be a little bit stronger. So then you start to see these patterns and how each season relates to the next season and the next season. There's also a piece to the seasons of age. There's age groups to every season as well. So the spring age group is 0 birth to 8 years old. It's the time of rebirth. It's the time of newness. It's the time of growth. It's the time to germinate. So what's the message there? For us, it's a time to grow. It's a time to start germinating an idea of what we want to plant. In other words, you think about how do you want to plant your garden, you give some thought to it. So you mend the soil so whatever you plant comes up. It's the same thing for us in spring. We want to start germinating some ideas that we want to plant a seed, an idea. This is a great time to do that because we have the wind behind our sail. We have the season of spring behind us to help propel us to start germinating an idea of what we want to plant for the spring so it will blossom in the summer months. So it could be as simple as germinating a new habit. Maybe you want to do spring cleaning of your house or your body, or maybe you want to start a new project, or maybe you just simply want to start exercising more. I mean, it doesn't have to be a big thing either, but when you bring some mindfulness to that idea of germination, it'll help you propel to the next level. For me, and also we lose our inspiration. When it's cold and it's dark and it's dank, kind of lose inspiration for some things. But when the weather starts to get warmer and the sun is out longer, there's more of an inspiration. It's more joyful kind of feeling. There starts to get very colorful out. So it also could be a time of inspiration for you, finding that inspiration to propel you to the next season and then to the next season. And that's very healthy for us because when we're compressed too much, when we're too much in that winter kind of feeling, it can create depression. And we don't want to have that to happen. So the spring is telling us this is your time for inspiration. Make the best of it. Really come out of the hibernation stage and start to really rebirth something new. This is just the tip of the iceberg for this season. It's such a beautiful season of renewal and coming out of the hibernation. We're all, I think, all ready for it. So we still have time before to plant the seeds. So this is your time, the beginning stages of spring, is start to germinate an idea and meditate on that if you've really honed on your meditation practice in the winter months. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to be continuing staying with spring for the next 10 weeks. I try to send something out at least once a week so you can kind of follow along and build on this idea and start getting really used to taking care of doing self-care for yourself naturally by simply following nature's cues so you can feel good. Thank you.